Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, and I'm here today with a tag video. This is a fun one called the Winning Title tag. It was originated by Heather Reeds, and I was tagged by Talia Nerds Out. So I discovered Heather's channel through this tag, so thank you, Heather, for starting the tag, and thank you, Talia, for tagging me. So I had to make a little adjustment to this one because I just watched Heather's original video, and she's got a great origin story, so go and check that out. I'll link it below. And the idea behind this tag is to talk about books that you purchased based on the title. So I had a little problem with that. I don't think I've ever bought a book just based on the title. I tend to be a very intentional reader. First of all, I don't buy many books for myself. I buy a lot of books as gifts, and I ask for books as gifts. So I have lots and lots of books waiting to be read, but I don't usually just browse and pick up books for myself. If I buy a book for myself, we just went on vacation, visited 2 bookstores. I actually only bought a gift at the second one. But in the first one, a used bookstore, I bought mostly classics. So I tend to, if I'm buying books for myself or asking for books for myself, they are usually books that I've heard about. Books that I've heard other people who share similar tastes with me raving about on booktube or in blogs, or friends of mine or family members. It's usually books that I've heard about through word of mouth. And so I very, very rarely, if ever, have chosen a book by its title. So instead, my twist is that I went to my waiting to be read bookcase. There is an entire bookcase with double rows on 2 of the shelves. And I looked at the books that are waiting to be read, and I used the prompts to just pick books off that shelf. So the prompts are very creative, and so it was a lot of fun, even though I had to change the rules a little bit for myself. So let's jump in. So the way she set it up, it's, have you ever bought a book because it had a something title? And for me, it's which book on my to-be-read bookcase has, number 1, a funny title. So I picked A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan, which I think is funny. And it caught my eye as soon as I heard about it. But again, mostly I asked for this book, and my husband gave it to me because I'd heard such amazing things about it. And it is a Pulitzer Prize winner. I've had really great success with Pulitzer Prize winners. Next, which book has a shocking title? For this, I chose The Tattooist of Auschwitz. You just know that the subject matter is shocking here. And I liked that this one still had a post-it on it. My son's girlfriend's mom read this and gave it to my son to give to me, so thank you. Which book on my waiting to be read bookcase has a title that sounds like a line of poetry? So I struggled a bit with this one. A lot of book titles are very short, I found. I did see this, Everything Sad is Untrue. So that seemed mildly poetic to me. I don't read a lot of poetry. This is a Prince Honor book, a novel. Well, it says a true story. I'll have to look into that. One of my closest friends gave this to me after her book club read it, and she thought I'd enjoy it. What book has a title which made me ask a question? So for that, I chose Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. I think I gave this one to my husband as a gift a long time ago. He read it and enjoyed it. I moved it to my side of the shelf, and I still haven't read it. This winter, I say that every winter, but this winter I'm going to get to it. But this it's a title that makes me wonder, who are the winter people? Why are they winter people? So that brings up a lot of questions. And I know it is a suspense thriller kind of novel, so I'm sure there are a lot of questions and answers in the novel. Which book has a heartwarming or homey title? For that, I knew immediately what book I was going to pick. Ann Tyler's Dinner at the Homesick Restaurant. Sounds very homey, and Ann Tyler's work is always heartwarming. So I thought that was a good fit, and I'm looking forward to reading this. One Christmas, I happened to mention to my family that I wanted more Ann Tyler novels, that I had only read 2 or 3. So I was inundated with them. So I've been gradually making my way through and loving every one of them. What book title has an unusual combination of words? For that, I chose The Blood of Flowers. I think this is from the same friend who read it for her book group. I'm pretty sure that's where this came from. Yeah, blood and flowers don't usually go together, so that seemed an unusual combination to me. She also enjoyed this one. She's new to book groups. She recently retired. She's enjoying her book group, and I think she's really enjoying discovering new books. And since I'm usually the one lending books to her, I'm loving that she is lending some great books to me. What book has a fantastic or magical title? Struggled with this one because I don't read fantasy, very, very rarely. This summer I did read a couple of T.J. Klune novels, which I loved. But from my waiting to be read shelf, the closest I could find was The Book of Air and Shadows by Michael Gruber. This is one that my husband read. This has probably been on our shelf for 15 years. So it was published in 2007. So that's, yeah. That sounds like really recent to me, but it was 17 years ago. So my husband read it a long time ago. He enjoyed it, moved it to my side of the shelf. And yeah, see, I think it's the size of the book that's putting me off. So I'll have to put this one in my stack for Big Book Summer next year. And I actually don't think it has anything to do with magic or fantasy, but the title seemed kind of fantastical. Okay, a title which is a contradiction or describes the impossible. So that one jumped right out at me when I looked at my shelf. The Splendid and the Vile. Definitely a contradiction by Erik Larson. Maybe I'll get to this one for Nonfiction November. It's another one that I bought for my husband as a gift. He loved it. He said it's his favorite Erik Larson so far. So that really convinced me that I should read it as well. It's about the life of Winston Churchill. Well, not his whole life. It's about Churchill during World War II. Erik Larson is always an outstanding writer of narrative nonfiction that's gripping, that reads like a novel. The subtitle for this is A Saga of Churchill, Family, and Defiance During the Blitz. I think this is another one whose size has been intimidating me because it's been on my side of the shelf for a couple of years now. But I just realized a lot of the stuff in the back is sources and index and things like that. It's really only 500 pages, so I should tackle it. And finally, I chose a few people whose channels I really enjoy, but in going through my list of channels I subscribe to, I realized I hadn't visited them in a while. So this gives me a good excuse. So I'm tagging Randy Ray, the Literate Texan, Mitzi Reads and Writes, and Novelle Novels. So I'm looking forward to revisiting all 3 of those channels, and I encourage you to visit them as well. They're all great channels. And if I didn't tag you, but you're interested in doing this fun, quick book title tag, then by all means, jump in and join the fun. In the meantime, in the comments down below, let me know of a book that you chose based on its title and why.